Something a little bit different for this video. I'm in Prague. Prusa invited me out here to check out some of their new to-be-released printers and new products. And I thought before I left, I'd sit down and, while it's all fresh, sort of share with you guys my thoughts. Now, no money changed hands for this video. Prusa has not paid me to make the video. They did pay for the trip, and I'll admit that's pretty cool. Prague is an awesome place. But they're not paying for my opinion. They didn't even really ask my opinion. All they said is it'd be great if we saw a video sort of showing your viewers what we're releasing. With that sort of housekeeping out of the way, what did Prusa bring to what they're calling Prusa Day 2025? There were a few really interesting things in the presentation, which took place at the Prague Planetarium, which was really, really cool. Prusa announced the Core 1L, which is a slightly larger Core 1. Core 1 Large, maybe? I'm not sure what they're going for. It feels like they've left room to do a Core 1 XL, a really big Core 1. But really cool printer. It's got an AC heated bed. It's got fans attached to the bottom of the bed to circulate air and achieve higher chamber temperatures. There's some material changes. They're using aluminium for the enclosure, or if you're American, aluminum. Aluminum. It's actually the same weight as the Core 1 and only 10% larger than the Core 1, despite being a 300 by 300 print bed. Great idea. Seems obvious, really. A slightly larger Core 1 to let you do bigger prints with sort of the proven Core 1 system at this point. They have done a really cool change. If you've used the Core 1, you know that you have to manually open the vent in the top of the printer to vent the enclosure for printing materials like PLA and PETG. They've slightly tweaked that now. The print head itself actually sort of just opens it by moving over and shoving a little lever aside, which is a very elegant solution to the problem. So I appreciate that, and I really hope that they will release some STLs so that we can print the same thing for our Core 1s and they can tweak G-code and things like that for us. If any company is going to do that, it's Prusa. There's only so much that can be said from a marketing presentation. I'm hopefully going to get my hands on one and I can give you a more first-hand account of how it performs, but seems like a solid printer, and with Prusa being Prusa, I'm sure the build quality will be fantastic. Prusa also announced Open Print Tag, which is an initiative for an open source print spool recognition system. If you've used a Bambu Lab printer, you'd know that all the spools, the first party spools from Bambu Lab, have an RFID chip in them. When you put one of those spools on a AMS or in an AMS, the printer will recognize what the material is, how much of it's left, and what color the material is. It does that by checking the ID on the tag and then pinging servers or checking an internal database to determine what kind of filament it is and how much there was left on the spool last time you plugged it in, which is a really cool feature, and I really like using that on the Bambu Labs printers, but it is extremely locked down and proprietary, and is pretty clearly intended to sort of lock people into an ecosystem. So Open Print Tag is Prusa's open source alternative. Prusa spools from now on will all include an open print tag. They're a lot larger than the Bambu Lab ones, but that allows a larger antenna, so you don't have to rotate the spool to find the RFID tag. But the most exciting thing about these new tags is the tag itself stores the data about what the spool is and how much is left on it. So when you read it with the printer will be able to determine what the material is, what temperature settings and things like that are required based on the spool, rather than checking a database. What's more is that will mean that every time you complete a print, the printer will tell the spool how much filament it used, and the spool will store how much is left on it. Now, it looks like Prusa is working with a handful of other filament brands to add support off the shelf, but another really cool thing about the open print tags is you'll be able to buy the tags themselves and add them to whatever spool you want. What's more is you'll be able to reuse them. Along with this release, Prusa is releasing a new type of spool that's got a click lock similar to the Bambu Lab spools. and is capable of being withstanding drying at higher temperatures, makes it much easier to use print refills. It's a little narrower, so it will fit in the AMSs now, which is nice. The fact that it's open source though is massive. If this can achieve adoption across a number of brands and a number of printers, it could be huge. So I'm really excited about that. It's such a Prusa solution, is an open source alternative. It looks like it, in theory, already has sort of feature parity with the Bambu Lab alternatives. As far as I can tell, none of the printers yet have built-in readers, but you can check the filament details and things using your phone. More details are still to come, but I'm actually super excited about what this could mean for 3D printing as a whole. Prusa also announced the Oak, Prusa Oak something. Prusa Oak something. It's a Core 1 with a gorgeous handmade oak enclosure with like brass details and things. It's a incredible looking printer. It looks like a piece of furniture and feels like it's sort of a kinetic sculpture that you'd have in the corner of an architect's office or something like that. This is not a practical product to buy if you want to get into 3D printing, unless your other half is particularly keen on your printer looking really good. Honestly, I don't fully understand the market for it because I'm not the target market. They haven't said how much it's going to be, but I imagine it's going to be extremely expensive. They're doing a very limited amount of them, 250 of them. They're all handmade, they're gorgeous. Good job, Prusa. I love products like this, but it's definitely not for the layman or the everyday man. It's a premium product. It's like a luxury 3D printer, which is really funny to say. But yeah, gorgeous. I found it very funny that a couple of the guys told me that they've actually seen better print quality with it just because it's so heavy and there's so much mass. So what else? Prusa showed a bit of a teaser for the next version of Prusa Slicer. We just saw screenshots, nothing more than that, and no real concrete date that it will be released. It looks a lot better integrated. It looks a lot more modern. I'm really excited for it. A lot of settings that I go to regularly are much more accessible instead of being hidden behind like 4 mouse clicks. So looking forward to that addition. And the last big thing was that Prusa showed a new type of print head for the Prusa XL that'll allow you to print 2-part silicons. It's a really cool concept, especially for industry and for prototyping, printing things like complex gaskets, moving hinges. And because it's the XL, where you can print multiple materials, there is interesting opportunities to have objects that are based on a rigid filament, but have silicon parts or additions built into them. The silicon, 2-part silicon comes off of a spool. It looks just like filament. Goes to the print head, and then the casing is stripped away and the liquid 2-part silicon is mixed in a nozzle and then deposited on the print bed like a regular 3D printer. This solution was incredibly precise, definitely like an industrial or commercial prototyping type thing. So yeah, exciting. Love to see innovation in the space. So I'm back in Australia and thought I'd give a really quick recap now that I've had a chance to think a little bit. Most of my thoughts remain the same, but I wanted to expand on some things just a little bit. The Core 1L, great. Good to see Prusa expanding on an already fantastic printer. Shipping is due to start on the 7th of November, so they're not super far away at all. Seems like a good option if you're looking for a new printer. Open Print Tag, extremely exciting. This will be great if the software and future hardware support is really solid. I'd love to see Prusa release some simple firmware for an ESP or something that would allow easy integration of RFID features to existing printers or via Prusa Connect or something like that. Either that or a low-cost hardware add-on for existing printers. Time will tell. Prusa Slicer updates. Great to see some modernization. It's about time Prusa Slicer got some attention. The Signature Oak, extremely sexy printer, a whole new market segment for 3D printing. I really hope it sells well for Prusa. Silicon printing, fantastic idea, confusing approach. Why not just have it pumped directly from bottles and then mixed in the nozzle? Surely it's a lot less complex than having to put a casing around liquids in a filament format. Just seems like an unnecessary constraint. Maybe I'm missing something there, but a little confusing. Prusa has just kicked off their Black Friday sale, so if you're wanting to pick up a Prusa printer, now's a great time. There's a link in the video description you can use to place your order that gives me just a little kickback, so if you could use that, I'd really appreciate it. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get to see the long-awaited nozzle swapping printer from Prusa. I'm excited to finally have something that'll allow me to replace my aging bamboo X1Cs and do away with poop forever. But I get the impression we'll know more about that come Formnext in November. So that's Prusa Day 2025. I hope this video was interesting. It's a little outside my wheelhouse, but I wanted to share my thoughts and perspective with you all regardless. Thanks again to Prusa, and I'll catch you next time.